And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you all to the Hello LLC How to Tuesdays. Today is going to be an amazing conversation where we're going to be showcasing, next level AI video tools for social media success. Especially as we all, if you're a business owner, if you're a side hustle, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever you are, we all have to understand that these outdated posts, right? Pictures, carousels, newsletters, things of that sort. Those are good, but they're not as effective as video. And this is where we share with you all of having the next level of showcasing your business and separating yourself from the rest of the crowd. And so I have my lovely other half, Tara, here with me as well. She's going to be sharing more about this information, and we encourage you guys to join on stage. We also definitely encourage you guys to go get that free AI guide, right, that we have put in our business box that has over 30 AI tools. And we're going to be talking about one exclusively today that you definitely want to be able to implement into your videos and into your social media, to where you don't have to you don't have to be the splicer, you don't have to be the content creator. There's literally AI that can do that for us. And so, this is what we're going to concentrate on today. And so, with that being said, love, before I continue, anything else you want to add on in the opening?
Well, welcome on in, everybody. It's so good to be here. Happy Tuesday. We appreciate you being in here. As Mr. Jones shared, please go out and check out the metaverse, because you can have a different experience with the same four buttons that you're pushing just to come into a LinkedIn room, a Facebook room, or a Clubhouse room. So don't let the word metaverse shy you away from that. But I'm excited to talk about AI video tools for success. I'm excited to talk about just AI in general for success. Yes, there are multiple parts of this conversation, guys, that can be, nefarious, or the bad of it. But today we're going to keep it on the positive, the helpful side of that, because we can always talk about those things. But that's not the point of this room. It's about to be able to help share tips and tricks and tools that we use, that we see, that we also share with our clients, that really helps them be able to convey the messaging and do the I wouldn't say the hard part, but it is kind of hard for us sometimes. We get in our own way. So AI allows us to get out of our own way. And so that's going to be a great conversation that we have today. And so I'm ready to get this conversation rocking and rolling. So back to you, love.
Yeah. And so, before we get started on that, we really want to share with you guys, facts. Because a lot of the times what happens is that we get in our emotions, we get in our feelings, we get in our traumas, right? We get in our dramas that become these patterns that then become, this habit that really just affects everything. And when we talk about, social media, when we talk about video, yes, if you want to, which we encourage you to, you should all just press the button. This is the very first step. No matter what you do, I want you all to leave here today with understanding I got to show up and I got to press the button. I got to take action. I can't be talking about it and not actually doing it, and doing it when it counts, because there's a huge benefit of why I do it. And those are some of the things that we're going to share with you now. And so we want you all to be able to understand that, when we talk about video, video content for your business, study shows that businesses with video on their landing pages or experience conversion rates up to 80% higher than those without. So not only for your social media, those of you that have a website, we call it crusty, dusty, old website or landing page, right? Not to make fun of you, but to really be able to help you understand those things that used to work are not working now, especially having a whole bunch of pictures, a whole bunch of reading. I remind people all the time that, look, you don't read, right? You don't read content. You don't read newsletters. Let's be honest and give me an emoji. If you're laughing right now, you're like, ooh, you might be right. I'm not reading, right? And so that's why video is important, because you have to gain people's attention. You have to capture their attention, because we all have 7 seconds. And so not only that, video improves your SEO. A lot of people ask us, well, David, how can I improve my SEO? Well, one great thing would be is for you to do videos, whether that's a live, whether that's a podcast, regardless of what it is, your words are transcribed into a language for this SEO to capture. And any of those words that you use is going to be brung up to the top. And so you sharing your voice, right? You talking about who you are. And really, people want to know who you are authentically. They want to know, who am I dealing with? Just as you guys want to know, hey, who's this Hello LLC? Are they really wanting more for people and not wanting more from people? They really truly want to see people. Let me see this in action. And that's why we do these rooms, to give these tips and show you how to do it, give you step-by-step guide. And even furthermore, we have our amazing Pivot membership that you guys can join. If you don't want to join, cool. Just come to our How To Tuesdays. We spill the beans, right? And so your SEO and having that live video by pressing the button, not caring what people say, not caring what your friends or family or anybody else says. And I'll give you one great tip. Those of you that do have a business, I encourage you to have an actual business page. You might, like Miss Key might have her own personal Instagram page. Create an actual business page of your business and showcase your business. We all see 5,000 to 6,000 commercials every single day. Your business should be one of them, right? At the end of the day, this increases your engagement. When you do a live video, when you do a podcast, when you do a social audio room, regardless if it's on LinkedIn, if it's on TikTok, if it's on, Chatter, if it's on Clubhouse, show up, because it's an event for your business. Where back in the day, to have an event, you had to rent out a hotel, right? You had to do this, you had to do that. You had to do all these different hoops, where now it's just the press of a button and getting on here and having a conversation. You don't have to talk about your business, right? You don't have to talk about your business. Whatever you like to talk about it. If it's politics, if it's religion, knock yourself out. I'd encourage you to stay away from that as far as possible, right? But talk about gardening, talk about, cooking, talk about, doing the things that you love to do. And while you talk about those things, people will be interested in you. And then they can be able to say, hey, what is it that you actually do? Because if you're doing this and talking about it this way, and I connect with you and I see you, then I want to know what else you do. And so it increases that engagement and, bringing better brand recall. Nobody knows your business if you don't talk about your business. Viewers retain 95% of a message conveyed through a video compared to just 10% on reading. So that right there is a huge, huge number that you should be asking yourself, hey, do I just want 10% or do I want 95%? Hell, do I want 10% or do I want 40%? Even if it's not 95, it's definitely more than 10%, right? Social media success. Content is king. Social media platform is driving higher shares, likes, and comments. And even on that part, this is what we share all the time. When you woke up this morning and you went to your phone and you scroll hold, did you go and like somebody else's, message? Did you go and comment on what somebody else was doing? Did you share what somebody else was doing? What did you do, to get the comments back? Because you got to give, right? You got to give before you take. And so often we take before we give, and expecting the other person to do something before we do it, when it comes to networking, when it comes to business, when it comes in all phases, of life. We're expecting the other person to take action before we do. And then, explainer videos, make short, effective communication, complex ideas or products, or leading, to understanding what you do. Because a lot of the times what happens is people don't know what you do, right? People don't know exactly how you do it. And so what better time than to be able to share that? And a great tip for you all is that if you are an entrepreneur, you are a business, you should definitely be setting up a conversation with your clients and having a question and having, a conversation with them and asking them about your services, having that be a testimony call. We do that with all of our clients. Not only does it help us out, but it helps them out at broadcasting their business, showcasing their business. If you ladies want, us to help you out, we have our amazing Hello Pivot that takes place on Thursdays at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, where we get live in our metaverse. We get live on all social media aspects. We invite you onto our StreamYard, and we have a conversation. What you're doing, how you're doing it, what got you there, what's the stories, what's this, what's that. Even if you aren't customers of ours, it allows you to showcase yourself, collaborate with us, because we truly understand that collaboration is the new currency. And it is the new competition, because there is no competition, because time is our only competition. And that's what we share out with you guys as we talk about, love, kindness, integrity, commitment, consistency, right? At the end of the day, that you'll hear throughout and lace throughout all of our social media and, conversations that we have. And so I'll stop there. Tara, anything you want to add on to, that section? And Kimberly, Miss, hopefully Patrina, hopefully I'm spelling your name right, saying your name right. If you ladies want to come up on stage, please feel free. Or if you have any questions, put it in the chat as well, and we'll answer it. But let's keep this party rock and rolling. What you got?
Yeah, I think the part that you talk about where we get in our own way. I was sharing this the other day with, about AI, is we've got to retrain our brain to ask ourselves, what task am I doing and how can AI assist me with that? The AI tools that are available. I know David actually was sharing with his sister, and she works in corporate America, and he was sharing some AI tools, and she ended up actually using some, and she's like, holy cow, that really helped me and saved me time. And that's the point. That's the point of what AI is. It was actually, for those that are here, it's the Gamma app. And if you guys want a whole list of some of these tools and AI tools, that we have a free list that you can get by going to our Business in a Box. So it's up there at the top, thehellollc.io. If you're in LinkedIn, you can go out to our page, and our URL is in our page. But if you go out there, scroll down, you will see where we have actually about 5 guides we give away for free. The only thing we ask from you is your email address. We're not going to spam you. You might get 1 email or 2 emails a year from us. Might be around the time of Black Friday, where we might have something that we're offering, but we are not big into spamming people, because we don't like to be spammed, right? So just know that if you do give us your email address, we're not going to abuse that privilege. But this guide has over, is it 20, a list of 20, David? Love?
It's 30 AI tools, and I got another one I'll add to it today. Yeah.
So it's a list of 30, but the Gamma app, so it's, GAMMA.app. If you are trying to create presentations, which was what his sister was working on, it saves so much time. You don't have to own your own business, to just utilize AI. You can, be working for corporate America, or, anything in that aspect of, and it can help you within your personal life. And so it's being able to share tips and tricks and tools like this with each other to say, if you're looking at creating something in this realm, try this. And we've had so much success with sharing these tools with other people that they just come back and they're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this sooner? And it's kind of like the fact of, well, you don't know to ask because you don't know there's a tool available. My sister-in-law and I were just having a conversation about an email that she needed to type up and respond to. And I was like, are you using ChatGPT or Gemini to be able to assist you in that realm? And she's like, not really. And I said, I used to spend hours cultivating an email to make sure that the language I was using was landing on the person properly, and not that I was, coming off too forceful, coming off direct, or rude, because a lot of times when I was in corporate America, I was dealing with C-level executives. So CEOs, COOs, CFOs, and no no disrespect to them, but they get a little ouchy sometimes if they don't feel like you're speaking to them in the proper way, right? And so it just comes down to knowing what these tools are, and being able to utilize them effectively. And so it comes back to retraining your brain to say, am I asking myself, okay, I got to write a response to this email. These are kind of the bullet points I want to hit. Am I utilizing AI to save me time? And that is such a great thing that we can really kind of, work towards as a community to help others understand that let's work smarter, not harder. I know some people get a little, scared about technology just in general, because it's like, what if the world, stops? Well, we are all on technology. So we've passed that. We're way past that point already. We've crossed that bridge a long time ago. So we just need to continue to move forward instead of looking back and being a little pessimistic instead of optimistic. So hope that helps and adds a value to that, to you and what you're doing. But Mr. Jones, back to you.
Yeah, and one of the things that we share all the time is, it's making the conversion, it's making the pivot over to utilizing these AI tools. And just like you shared with Nancy, not just utilizing Chat GPT. Chat GPT is free. Gemini is free. And something that I share with people all the time, how much is your time worth? Really, because that's what these AI tools do, is they give you back your time. And I share this because one of the tools that we utilize, called, our Magic Jewel app, it literally, allows multiple businesses to now have Canva, now have, Chat GPT, now have actual scheduler, all in one app. And all in this one app, I used to spend 60 hours a week with our social media content, from one platform to the next, posting it on LinkedIn, posting it on Facebook, posting it on Twitter, posting it on all of this. And oh my God, that's just time. I mean, for one post, it's an hour. I don't care how good you are, it's an hour, right? Especially if you want to make it right. And that's what kind of stops people from doing that, is because of the time and the cumbersome work that it takes. Where this tool literally took me from 60 hours now down to 5 hours a week, and quadrupling my output. With now, instead of me doing maybe 1 or 2 posts a week as I was trying to do, because it was taking me 2 to 3 hours, and then posting it, and work, and then cold calling and everything else, and then doing these rooms, I might have been getting out, maybe 2 to 3 posts a day out. Now we can consistently pump out 5 posts a day. And then not only that, we've added on our Pivot membership. So we have a whole entire another platform, and we have other platforms that we're doing social media on as well. And so this is where we share with people, implementing these tools and being consistent on using these tools, and not being like myself, which is why I share the story, is that Tara found this tool for me, set it all up for me. I used it for about 2 to 3, not even maybe a week or so. You're right. Something didn't go right. I faltered back into my old patterns, and I went back to doing it one for one. And she looked at me and she said, "Hey, look, I just bought you a damn Ferrari that's sitting in the garage to go to work. And right now you are walking to work. Why are you walking to work?" And I looked at her, I was like, "Ooh, that's a good one. Why am I not?" Because of the inability to change my patterns, and not willing to change, and not willing to accept the new way of utilizing this AI in business. And so please understand, not just Chat GPT, not just Gemini. Gemini is connected to the internet. It's Google's, Chat GPT, for those of you that don't know. But those 2 tools are up religiously on my computer, right? And not only that, look, if you're not good at texting, if you're not good at emails, you literally should go to your app store right now and download the free version of ChatGPT on your phone, where you literally can hit that little microphone, give access to your phone, and it will allow you to talk. Can you please create me a social media post for the Hello LLC, sharing with people how we can help them build their business and their foundation into the future, and provide me with viral hashtags. Literally, guys, it will give me a nice social media post all put together that I probably would have never came up with. And so that in itself saved me so much time, because I used to have to go to Tara for that. Or I'd have to try to spell check it and grammar check it and go to this app, go to that app to make sure it was right, when it makes sure everything is in order and give me the hashtags that I need. And then taking it one step further, with that AI guide that we have, that tool is actually in there that you can go get, right? We call it our Magic Jewel app, but that's huge, just in itself. Taking it away from business, the holidays are coming. And a lot of us are going to go to our family's house, and we're going to pull out that old scrapbook, and we're going to go through pictures, and we're going to be reminiscent and things of that sort. When you should literally be able to take those those pictures, and drop it into AI, let it refresh it. And now, instead of you having a hardback, book that's only at grandma's house, now everybody can have access to it, and everybody can add on to it and not lose those memories. And so this is where we have to really get outside of our old conditioned ways of thinking and really being able to create. And something that I heard, last week that was so just enlightening is that we are entering into a new age of engagement. And that is why we showcase our metaverse world. That is why you're hearing your customers and clients, and even for yourself, wanting a new experience, not just settling for the old fashioned ways. And so that's where we're at. And, it's clicking the button, just as people, move from, having a phone conversation and trying to explain what this is and that is, or telling somebody to press this button or press that button on the computer or do this, that, and the other. There was this thing called Zoom that came up, and we all were hesitant, or I'll speak for myself, of moving over until I actually downloaded the Zoom app. And then I was able to share my screen. I was able to see the person. I was able to conversate with the person. I didn't have to worry about interruptions. It changed the experience, which a lot of us right now are doing business on Zoom. And that is now becoming the new cell phone, where people don't want to really meet on Zoom. What if you can meet in a 3D immersive environment that you don't have to be there, that people could see all the information that they want without you being there and make a decision without you being there? So this is where we share with you all to be able to implement these AI tools and using this information for social media and how we look at technology and really, the SEO. And when we talk about AI, it's nothing more than us advancing our critical skills, right? Now we get to actually ask questions and get the answers and understand why, if we so choose to ask it more in-depth questions, because our teachers, our parents, right, our mentors, they just gave us the answer and go do it. Where, now you get to dig down deeper and you get to ask it a way that works best for you. And so this is the thing that we want you all to take a different perspective of how you look at AI and not be afraid of it. Yes, it is going to disrupt the job industry. It's going to, it's pretty much going to replace 800 million jobs, but it's going to have a surplus, of 950 or a surplus of 150 million jobs. So 950 million jobs will be created with AI. So don't be afraid of this AI. I highly encourage you all to start learning it now. So when you do get asked to do a presentation at your job, you don't sit in there using PowerPoint. You literally can utilize another app that's called Gemini that allows you to put in your information, like Tara put in, I think, like a paragraph the other day, and it created a whole entire PowerPoint picture presentation for with pictures and animations and all these things that she just gets directed to, and you get taken out of the way of the thinking. Now it's literally you get to create at the speed of thought, utilizing this learning language model that literally allows you to create and do anything and everything. And so that's what I'll share on that piece before we move forward. But does anybody else have any questions? Welcome to the room, Michelle. Welcome. Come on up, Miss Kimberly. How you doing today, ma'am? And so, if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm a poet. I write poetry, and I don't want to keep having to type up or write up my poems. And I want to use Gemini or AI to get my poems out there easier to the world. So, is there any way I could do that?
Absolutely, you can. By chance, have you, spoke these poems out, or do you have a YouTube or anything of you showcasing these poems? I can't hear you, Miss Kimberly, if you're talking.
Yes, I have a whole lot of platforms that I share my poems on, but I have a lot of platforms that I have shared them on.
Miss Kimberly, I got you in the matrix on my side. Tara, I don't know if she's on your side in the matrix.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you in the matrix, Miss Kimberly.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. Start over for me. Now I can't hear you. So let me answer your question and maybe put yourself on mute and then maybe try again. But yes, you can. If you have been on different social media platforms and yeah, Miss Kimberly, I got you. We got you in we got you in the matrix, Miss Kimberly. Miss Kimberly, we got you in the matrix. So maybe what you want to do is maybe let me share what I was going to share, and then after I get finished sharing, you can leave the room and then come back because I got we're getting nothing from you. I got you on the matrix. So to answer your question and to help you out, let's say prime example, you have a YouTube that you've recited these poems. You've done a clubhouse room that you've recited these poems. You've done a podcast that you've recited these poems. You literally can be able to play that video, and on your computer you can go to Gemini and you literally can press play and have it listen to all of those poems, and it will by verbatim transcript all of what you've said. You also, instead of you typing it, especially with you being a poem, you can literally talk the poem out and it will record your poem and then it will transcript it as well for you. And so to answer your question, yes, there is a way for you to get your current, poems that you have and put them into, a Chat GPT or a Gemini to repurpose that. And I'm even going to share with you another one that we have that this is a great one that we just found. It's called Opus Clip. And this, what it allows you to do is it literally, like I do lives throughout the week, like you'll probably see me do one later on today. And when I do the live, I literally will take my whole entire live and I will drop it into this actual Opus Clip, and it will cut different clips that I said, and it will give me the captions. And I can do some other things as well with that actual, and I can have a transcript and all of that. And so that was one of the main ones that we wanted to share with you guys, was called, and hopefully I'm saying it right, Opus Clip, where literally you can be able to, drop that YouTube, drop that live, drop, whatever it is into this app, and it will be able to cut and splice, and it will even write out the captions. It'll write out, give you the hashtags, and then it will also post it for you as well on your designated, social media platform. So it's another one of those tools that definitely would save you time, where let's say if you went live for, 2 to 3 minutes, it can cut 20 different videos. And now you got 20 social media posts that you can post, because in all reality, people aren't listening to, my 5-minute, lives and all. They're not listening to the 3-minute. I might get, maybe 10, 15 seconds, if that, right? If I'm good enough, and be able to capture their attention. So it allows you to utilize one piece of content and turn it into 20, right? When everything already done for you. So hopefully that answered your question. Kim, try again and come off mute and see if that works. Ms. Kimberly? Okay, just let us know when you're back. But Tara, did you want to add anything onto that?
I think it just comes, down to like what you were sharing is having that information if you've already got it kind of preset. Sorry, I had somebody at the door, so I kind of missed a little bit
Hello?
of it. So if I'm repeating,
Can you?
can we hear Miss Kimberly?
Yes, Miss Kimberly,
Oh,
we can
no,
hear you
she's
now.
gonna
Go
bow out
ahead.
for a second.
Go ahead. No, Miss Kimberly, if you could leave the room and then come back, that might
I
reconnect.
went and came back in.
Okay, go ahead. What
Can
you
you hear
got?
me now?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you. Go ahead. Miss Kimberly, we got you on mute now.
Miss Patrina,
But
Miss
go.
Patrina had stated that she can hear her just it clear. So I think I wonder if it's on our end.
Yeah, well, go ahead, and I'll be quiet. Go ahead. If you can hear her, love, then go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Kimberly.
So today I'm gonna try to post, and I'm gonna try to post the app. But if it don't, because I have an Android phone, and I noticed when some of the apps are not on Android phones as they are on iPhones. So I don't know how I'm gonna download these apps, and I find but I don't.
Did you catch that, Mr. Jones, love? I don't know if he's. David, can you hear me on LinkedIn side?
Yes, I can hear. Yes, I heard. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just gonna jump in there. Miss Kimberly, well, I'll just say this. I don't use, well, David uses the Chat GPT on the iPhone on his end, but I use all of any AI app I'm using. I use from a laptop base. I don't use any of them from my iPhone. So that might be an option for you. Not saying that that's the only option. Just saying that that's how I utilize it. But I do know, again, like I said, David utilizes Chat GPT on his phone quite often because he does a lot of things from his phone, but he also uses it from his laptop. So maybe if, for instance, there's an app that you can't get on the iPhone side, possibly try, to see if you can get that from a computer side. That might be your workaround. That would be one suggestion I might have. And it looks like Patrina was stating that she just, in the comments, that she was able to utilize ChatGPT from her Android phone. So that's helpful information. And maybe Miss Patrina will drop that, how she did that or what she found in the App Store, or if she's just utilizing it through a web browser. Through the Android. Again, we don't have an Android phone, so we are not a lot of help on that home front. And so it's good to have a community in here where we can be able to share cross information like this. So she said it from the app and the browser. So okay, yeah. So that might be. She uses it from the app and from the browser. So maybe on some of those two, Miss Kimberly, if you try, like, not so much Chat GPT, but there's another app you can't do. I know every phone has a browser, so that would allow you to use it too, which is how I use it through a laptop. So hopefully that helps. Back to you, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, and definitely, the browser. is a great choice. And then, you know, on your phone, you should be able to download it. But like
Did we
Tara,
lose Mr. Jones?
no, I'm talking. I'm sorry, I didn't unmute myself on the side.
Okay, gotcha.
No, you know, that's something that I would highly encourage you to do is, you know, you try to utilize it on your computer and then utilize it on your phone. And even, you know, on the Android, I'm 99.999% sure that you can download, you know, Chat GPT. If not, Android being Google or Google, Samsung, you definitely should be able to get Gemini on your actual Android phone for sure. They should probably have that up and rolling for you as well to utilize. And so, yeah, just like Miss Patreon. Hopefully, I'm saying her name right. She said she utilizes it on her phone. Were you going to say something, love?
I was just going to say I thought maybe it might be Patrina, but
Patrina.
I could be.
I think you're right. I think you might be right
as well.
You might be right. It's better than what I was coming out with because it's definitely not Patreon. But Miss Patrina, you are spot on that. So, yep, we got it right. Perfect. And so, you know, welcome in the room, Chef Andy. Welcome in the room, Jeremy with the J. Hopefully, I'm saying Mr. Sandy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are showcasing, you know, some AI video tools. As I mentioned, that Opus app that I put in the chat is an amazing app that will literally splice and dice your actual live conversations. Like Chef Andy does lives as well, or he does videos, and he literally could take that video. And look, I would suggest you all, if you were on an old podcast or if you were on an old, you know, show, go and get that and drop it into this app and let it cut it and chop it up for you. And then it also puts the captions. People always ask us, hey, how do you get those captions? Why is that important? Because a lot of you don't have your volume on your actual phone when you're watching, you know, Instagram and things of that sort, because you're in a loud place, so you just don't want the volume on. So that's why captions are important. And it captures all of these captions, and it's amazing, like no other, to be able to implement it. So those are some of the big things. But as we was mentioning, you know, please go into our Biz in a Box, our revamped Biz in a Box that we just reorganized, and scroll right down to the bottom, the very, very bottom, below our podcast, below all of the things that we do, and below, you know, our apparel shop, below all of that. And you'll see at the very, very bottom, we have 5 free guides that you can go and download and get emailed to your actual cell phone that you can utilize, from metaverse to how to monetize your social media, to be able how to, you know, create animation, right? That's something I'm going to talk about next as well. But go and press the button, and that's what we encourage you guys to do, is to take action. It hurts me, and it makes me feel so sad when people say they want to do things, and then we give them the opportunity to just go press the button, and they don't press it, and then, you know, a couple months later, like, oh, I want to do this. Well, hey, look, it's right here. It's up to you. Just like in anything, right? There was a quote that was shared the other day. I posted it, where, you know, we think freedom is following what our mind tells us, following what, you know, we think is right, when in all reality, that's not freedom. Where you've been controlled by these traumas and dramas and patterns, and that's really not freedom, and is listening to the mind. You should be able to take a step back in how you react and how you control and what you do. That's freedom towards that situation. And so many times we allow our mindsets to take over based on the past, based on past situations, based on what we think, right? Based on, you know, what happened, you know, when I did this the last time. And especially when it comes to, you know, AI, I'm not going to BS you guys. And that's why I speak so hardly on this, is because I was that person that would sell myself, I'm not good at technology. This isn't me. I'll just, you know, sit back here on the back burner, and I'll just, you know, I'll just see how far I can get with not knowing this. And this is where we share with you, we're entering the stage of algebra. When you remember algebra class as much as I do, if you missed a week, you didn't do your homework, you didn't do the assignment, the next week would stack up, the next week would stack up. And before you know it, it's like speaking a completely different language because you didn't get the basics. And that's where we're at right now with understanding just to press the button and or to talk to this AI, because you literally have a teacher, a guide, a mentor right there that you have access to, that unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately, is smarter than anything else that we have access to right now. And we all have access to it for free right now, especially on the Gemini app where it's connected to the internet. You don't have to have the free. You don't have to have the paid version like on ChatGPT. In order for it to be connected, you got to get the ChatGPT for Omni, and if it gives you free ones, but you only got 14. And by the time you can finish asking 5 questions, they're like, you're done. And so, this is where we want to share this with you. But, be creative, right? Be able to understand that once again, this is the new era of engagement. And some of the other facts that I wanted to share with you guys are, about, ChatGPT. And I see Ms. Kimberly said she was able to download ChatGPT. So that's good. That's awesome. And so where was I with my notes? Where'd they go? Oh no. All right, I have to pull it back up. I have to get it back up. But other than that, Miss Kimberly, did you have any other questions? Chef Andy, Jeremy, if you guys want to come up, please feel free to raise your hand and come on up and ask questions, add to the conversation. And I'll get I'll get to the animation for you as well. Come on up here, ma'am, because that's something that's huge that we'll talk about. Is animation for your videos. And so, if you guys haven't, go into Our Biz in a Box, and you will see right at the very top, Tara and I have created an AI avatar of ourselves to where we now can utilize AI to showcase our business. It spells out everything in a minute and a half about our business. And that's where, the facts was earlier, that having a video, a content increases your engagement by, 95% compared to reading and post, by 10%. And so that's something that we create. That's called our Hello AI Motion Works, where a lot of the times, we share with people, hey, our Pivot membership, we can show you how to do it. But if you don't want to learn how to do it, then we can actually do it for you, which a lot of the times works out best, instead of trying to sit there and say, oh, well, I can figure it out and do it on my own. And then it doesn't look nowhere near as good. And then we don't showcase it. And so, definitely, hopefully I answered your question. Go ahead and ask away or unmute yourself, ma'am.
Hello, how are you all? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear. We can.
Good. It's Katrina. And I was trying to find out, I was saying how some people said you can use like an audio of yours and a picture, and you can make it like turn into like a video without you actually having to do the whole video. So that's one I was interested in. And of course, turning like my children's books into like animations, as well as TV scripts and screenplays that I am working on.
Absolutely. Katrina, that is absolutely what our Hello AI Motion Works is to where we can be able to take your actual voice, or we can use an animated voice that will literally be able to showcase, your actual children's books. And it doesn't have to be of yourself. You can create characters that are within your series of books that will showcase that character, and they can talk about it. And I'm glad you brought that up, because, this is exactly where, the metaverse and this 3D immersive environment, to where then you could have, children and anybody join your 3D immersive environment and get access to all these amazing characters and purchase your book. You can even make it to where, that's a membership platform for them to get access to all of your series of books. And so we actually help out authors themselves. We're actually helping out one individual right now. She's doing Tiki's Table, and she has a whole series on her gospel and different characters that she's created. And that's exactly what we've done for her, is created an AI video to where she can showcase that. And we're in the process now of creating her characters in her book to be able to showcase that as well, because that's going to gain traction, right? That's going to grab especially these children's attention.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to learn more about that. I was thinking, so are you saying like we have people like children's voices, or you already have children's voices on these AI apps too? I definitely like to understand more about the membership one as well. I'm assuming you mean like a monthly membership.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And what I'll do is I'll put in the chat, I'll put our calendar, and what you can do, feel free to book a time with us, and I can go in complete details with you on how exactly, this would be able to work specifically for you, and what we can create. And it definitely, the Pivot membership, which, we share with people, $7 a month. That's 23 cents a day. I know if you like me, we had a junk drawer that had, tons of cash in it, that wasn't used. And this could be put to some good use to understand these tools and tricks and tips, because it's not just about AI. We help you how to monetize. We help you how to implement systems. Literally, we rebuild your foundation to help you pivot into the future. As you know, over here on LinkedIn, Chef Andy has been one of our clients as well. And that's what we've been doing for multiple people also.
Oh, cool. So did you say yours is $7 a month?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is one of our first levels that we have.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to learn more about that one. Okay. Is that on that link right here you said to hello?
Yes, ma'am. I will literally put it up at the top where it can direct you straight to the Pivot, right? Only if we were on Chatter, I could put multiple links, but here is the Pivot membership right there at the top, and you can go right in there, and you can be able to learn about all the different levels.
Thanks, I appreciate that. You said you're gonna put it at the top?
Yes, ma'am. It's up at the top. It says "Hello Pivot." You should see it.
Oh, I see it now.
And then I'll also put it in the chat for you as well.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I got
So you
that.
have that.
And so I'm assuming they all do the similar. Like you can do the same with the screenplays, which you're saying. I feel like that could be a membership as well. You know how people be doing like the web series? They were doing that for a good minute. I don't know if people are still doing that or what they did. But
well, this is a great thing when we work with authors. You authors should definitely be not just showcasing your books, and hopefully you're not utilizing Amazon because it's Scamazon, as we were told.
Right.
But we literally put it in a nice foundation for you where you can sell your books individually and create this immersive experience that you should be having a membership on. Where you give people an option where, hey, you can buy this one individual book, or you can become part of my book club, and you can pay this monthly subscription, and now you have access to all of my books. And you can be able to get this, and you can be able to get that, and you can be able to do this. And if you want to, have this. And so those are different things that we could talk about, to be able to help you monetize those things.
I appreciate it. I've been thinking about doing something similar for some years now. So yeah, I think this could be helpful.
Yeah. And the great thing about this, look, this is what we share. Don't beat yourself up, because what happens is that we all have these amazing ideas and these amazing trainings or concepts that we have. We just don't know how to transaction it. We just don't know how to piece it all together. And that's where we come into play, where we can piece it together. And now, guess what? You can stop being a janitor of your business, and now you can be the president of your business and outsource some of these things to where you're not beating yourself up, or, on the other hand, not getting them done when you're putting yourself behind more than in front, by having these dreams stuck inside you, and we can get them out to the world.
Right. I agree. I think one of the issues I had in the past is outsourcing to the wrong people. Like that was formatting my books or something like that. Yeah, I spent more time trying to fix everything and get them to understand me.
Absolutely. I can understand that. Chef Andy, brother, how are you doing over here on our LinkedIn, man? You want to share with us who you are, what you do, and I'll put your biz in a box over here on the Clubhouse side as well. But talk to us, brother. Long time no see. How you been doing? Chef Andy. He might be busy. But Love, do you have anything you want to add on top of that until we hear back from Chef Andy?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Chef Andy.
Oh, there he is. Yes,
Can you hear
sir.
me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have my mute on. Yeah, I just want to say I really enjoy you guys. The value you give is you can't put monetary denominations on it. It's just fantastic. And I know that lady was talking about the Pivot membership. It's all good because it's a team. You got to have the team, you got to have the community, put it all together. You can't do it all yourself. And, I just haven't begun to tap into what the possibilities are for the Biz in the Box and all the things that Hello LLC offers. And, I'm going to be slowly getting there, warming up the engine, cruising a little bit here and, then kicking in into high gear eventually. But yeah, little by little, learning the steps, learning how to target market, getting the word out there, finding the people that you need to find. It's all a plan, and with this Hello LLC, it's just been such a blessing seeing in the metaverse. I've been talking to a number of people about that. Did you the other day, I don't know if it was you or Tara or somebody on LinkedIn, because I'm on LinkedIn a lot, talk about the metaverse, that Coca-Cola's in the metaverse and one of the big players was in the metaverse?
Absolutely. Coca-Cola's in there. Walmart is in there. Walmart, in the same world we're in, we use. Walmart has built a whole entire, store to where you walk down the aisle in metaverse and you pick up the item and it checks out and then they deliver it to you. So this is the new immersive way that we get to experience other than the typical, Amazon. My mom used to be the main one that would say, boy, I will never shop online. Her ass will not be caught in a store right now. She's going to pull up to that number that they tell her to, hit that button to come and for them to put her groceries in, and she's out. And so this is where, the evolve of technology allows us to move forward. But yes, sir. And so, Chef Andy, if you could, before you got your Biz in a Box, you were probably, I'm not sure, this, that, and the other. But after you got your Biz in a Box, how excited were you that you got our Biz in a Box? And did you have a whole bunch of issues with us, trying to get it together, as Miss Paterna was sharing earlier?
Well, basically, I had no doubts about taking the next step, the next level, updating my website, which had been still being used for the last 18, 20, 19 years, whatever it might be, with my singingchef.com domain on it. But, I had no reservations about it at all, especially when I saw you guys and especially Tara creating that singingchefsauces.com site for me, and the photos and the backgrounds and the things that you created was almost like being in Italy. And I was just totally knocked off my chair. It was just amazing. And I really promote that as much as I can, with my QR codes. Got a couple things coming up that we talked about, David, behind the scenes here regarding using the QR codes. That's going to be happening very, very soon. But the whole thing is really a package. The package deal is really great. And I really encourage everyone who's listening, everyone who follows you guys, especially on LinkedIn, which I get a number of my connections with. Every day I'm posting and sharing and reposting, and people are following me that I didn't even know that are following me. And I talked to a gentleman, he does tours in Italy, and I actually called him for the first time, and he said, Andy, I follow you all the time, yada, yada, yada. So we're going to meet for coffee. He lives here relatively close to where I live here in Florida. We're going to get for coffee to see how we can help each other out. And of course, I'm going to mention to him, to upgrade whatever he has going now for his tour company. He's sort of on the easy end. It's not a big push for his tour company like it used to be. He's at that place now, sort of semi-retired, but he still likes to go to Italy, take people to Italy. So I'm going to tell him about, of course, Hello LLC, the Biz in a Box. I want to show him what I have. And you never know. That's what it is. You talk to people about it, how you can improve or assist them in improving whatever they have, whatever their business is, even if it's a part-time business. For me, it's a full-time business, but some people have part-time businesses, that they want to, bring in whatever creativity, little extra hustle, but whatever it might be. And I know for sure that, it's really skyrocketing with you guys totally committed to sharing and the giving value. So, to real quick get on the food side, my cousin, I don't know if you guys, on the East Coast, I grew up on the East Coast in New Jersey. I'm the official Jersey boy. So and I'm just posting it now on LinkedIn. He sent me a photo of one of the most famous hot dog makers during that time when I grew up in New Jersey, but now they're starting to franchise it. Well, they have franchised it and they're in different states, but there is nothing like what's called the Jimmy Buff hot dog. And I'm going to post that. There's nothing like it on a pita bread. When you take a look at this photo, you guys, even if you don't eat meat anymore, you're going to want to eat this hot dog. It's so good. Anyway, so that's what I'm about to do, post that photo that my cousin in New Jersey sent me, because we grew up with that way of making things that really stood out. And that was really, we went to lunch and dinner we dreamt about it at night. That's a good sign you're having a good, meal at night, or a good dream at night. When you're thinking about something, you wake up in the morning and you try to find it. Anyway, it's all about food. It's all about love. And that's what you guys are about. And thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. And for those of you that don't know about Chef Andy, I highly encourage you to go to the singingchefsauces.com and check out his amazing Biz in a Box. And you can also see his amazing AI video that we created for him. So he's able to, talk to people and get away from utilizing a crusty, dusty, business card that goes in the purse, goes in the wallet, goes in the cup holder, never gets put in your phone, and you don't have contact with that person. It was just it was a flyby. Whereas now he has his QR code on his phone that he says, hey, scan right here. Boom, it opens up to his Biz in a Box. He's now able to ask them, hey, what social media outlet are you on? You on LinkedIn? You on Facebook? You on Instagram? Oh, I'm on LinkedIn. He, boom, hits that LinkedIn button, adds himself as a friend. Now he's in communication with this person, because now our social media is our new email, okay? You posting, you showcasing, and people, whether they like it, whether they comment, they see you. Please believe, I know you guys see the Hello LLC on all of these platforms, okay? And so you might not like it, you might not share it or post it, but you see it. And I'm reminding you of the fact, we're reminding you of the fact that, hey, it's time to upgrade. It's time to pivot. With the stock market going the way it is, with our dollar, going shaky the way it is, we can no longer just depend on, our job. We can no longer just depend on one source of income. And this is where we share with people, ladies, if I was to tell you, you had to wear, one pair of shoes for the rest of your life, or for, 10 years or 5 years, you look at me and say, bye, Felicia, boy, please, you crazy. Or a purse or earrings. And you'd be like, no, I have multiple, right? For my fellas, if you go fishing, you would be mad as hell if I were to tell you, you could only take one fishing rod, or you can only fish with one bait, or if you are a hunter, you can only have one gun, and let alone one bullet. That just wouldn't work. But yet alone utilizing that same analogy for our overhead and for our income, we think, and we've been programmed and we've been trained from the education, let's call it a spade, is that we only need one. And this is where you all can turn your passion, right, into, turn your passion into profits. And this is, not making it harder than it is, where you don't have to be, cold calling people. You don't have to be, reaching out to people as much as you think. You just got to show up as you already are. You know, I share this story a lot, and hopefully it resonates that if you all go to your screen, you know, your phone right now, you know, your iPhone, Kimberly, I'm sorry, I don't know the Android function, but if you go to your iPhone and you go to your settings, right? And below in that settings, there's this big ass button that says, you know, screen time. And in that screen time, you press that, it's going to give you a big ass map, you know, a big ass chart of, you know, where your time is spent. And if Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you know, all, you know, Clubhouse is one of those, and you're spending 2, 3 hours, 4 hours a day, you're a consumer. You're not producing. And in order for you to consume money, you got to produce. When we have it the backwards way, we're watching everybody else and we're selling ourselves short, or, oh, I'm not good at this. Oh, what do people think? Oh, I don't have nothing to talk about. Oh, people are going to say this. Forget that. You know, I see all of these social media posts that share, you know, forget about what other people say. Forget about what other people think. You are you. You show up as you, and you be authentic with you, and you show that love, you show that kindness, you show who you are, right? And it will, you know, things will start happening. And so that's the great thing, you know, about Chef Andy. And even furthermore, you know, Chef Andy is not, you know, a spring chicken anymore, you know. And so this is where, you know, when we went to him and we said, hey, Chef Andy, let's upgrade your system. And not only that, let's put you into Metaverse. And he was open to it. He's like, whatever I can do. And so those of you that are in our Hello Plaza and you're watching, you know, us in the Metaverse, I'm literally in our Hello Plaza mall. And you will see that I am in, you know, our mall, our plaza, where Chef Andy has a storefront, to where now he can say, hey, go to Metaverse from your cell phone or your laptop or your iPad. And of course, he's going to get the question, well, I don't have VR headsets. You don't need VR headsets. You literally can jump in here right now from your phone, and now you can learn about all my pasta sauces, aka my books, aka my programs, aka my apparel, aka my masterclasses or webinars. Anything you get to showcase in a completely different way, where Chef Andy, you know, gives away, you know, his, hey baby, he gives away, you know, his free you know, recipes that you all can go and get you can get access to right now. You can, you know, go and purchase his tomato basil. You can go and learn more about his sausage and fennel. You can go and learn more about the vodka cream. And the great thing about it is this big old button that says discover more literally takes him to his biz in a box, to where you see Chef Andy singing chefsauces.com. And it says, yes, let's go. And boom, that takes me right back to the 2D world, right? To the traditional, you know, website landing page, aka Art Biz in a Box, that now people get to go back and forth from. And this is a completely different conversation. This is what I was sharing earlier, you know, a new era of engagement, right? Like for Miss Patrina, she could be able to showcase, you know, one of her stories, one of her AI, one of her actual, you know, series of her characters, and showcase it in there, where kids can come and join and have, you know, fun by themselves and get to watch it. And then, you know, if she wants to do presentations, she wants to do webinars, you want to do master classes. This literally, look, make it very simple. If you're utilizing Zoom in your business, then you probably should upgrade to a 3D immersive environment. Just like right now, if somebody wanted to meet with you, you particularly don't want to talk on the phone. You would like to actually get them on a Zoom. Now, having this metaverse, and this is facts, not David and Tara, you know, sharing this, you're going to get a 50% increase in engagement. Ladies, you don't have to show up and have your hair together, have your makeup together. You get to show up in this nice avatar, as you see I'm in right now, in my suit, fully suited and booted. And guess what? I'm wearing a sweatshirt and shorts right now. You would never know. You get to hear my voice. And so, you know, and I can share my screen. I can do anything and everything I want to. And this is where AI kicks into the place where you guys are going to see before the end of the week, we now have, you know, an avatar. What I mean by avatar, imagine like in Chef Andy's store, he can be able to have like his picture that is standing right here that we have, his picture can be connected to an avatar that literally can describe everything about his business, to where this person can talk to his AI avatar, or this person can text to his AI avatar, and that avatar is going to know everything about his business and be able to spit it out better than Chef Andy, better than myself, right? In a sophisticated, simple way for people to understand. And so this is where we share. These AI tools are just the beginning, because now it's a learning language model, right? Just like with these robotics, we've always been able to build the robotics, the robots. But now with this new technology, it's going to be implemented into these robots, and bada bing, bada boom, here we go. And so that's why this is so important, to share this with you all as we move forward. Anybody else want to share anything? Tara, you have anything, love?
Well, I just, I'm just going to double down on the fact of, utilizing these tools for our benefit, to be able to assist us to save time and energy. And you said something earlier, because I know Miss Katrina had asked this question about, are these some of these AI tools for free? Majority of them are. Some of them do require a payment. I know we use a couple that are like only a couple of dollars a month. And I know, a lot of the ones that we use are free to utilize. And so it just kind of depends on what you're looking for and what application you're using. I do know a lot of them give free trials, so that way you can test them out to see if it's even something you want to utilize. Because again, this comes back down to the simple fact of just push the button, get curious, and be mindful, that mark your free trial, like it's going to end in 5 days. Okay, well, in 3-4 days, I'll go out there and cancel it if I don't like it. Don't let it just go by the wayside, and then the next thing you know, you're getting billed and you forget about it. And so it's just being able to utilize the newer tools. There's nothing wrong with doing it the old way at all. But that takes a lot of time and energy. And time is your greatest currency. It is the only thing that you cannot buy in the stores. It's the only thing that you can't get more of. We all have a set time on this earth, and that's all we get. And so it's smarter, not harder. And not saying that the old way is harder. It's just that it utilizes more of your time. And, if you are a busy individual that's got a lot of things going, time is your greatest asset that you want to keep kind of control of. You want to make sure you're balancing that and not, running yourself ragged, because burnout, doesn't do any of us good. And so, we're, again, it's about how AI is helpful. It's not a conversation about the adverse effects of AI or what could come, or any of the negativity that's kind of around that. There is that. That's not this room. It doesn't do us any good as business owners or creators to be able to focus on that. It's better when we utilize, back to that word, time, in an efficient manner, so that way we are not letting time to slip by that we're not going to get back. And so I absolutely sense AI has come full blast on the scenes, which will be this December will be 2 full years that AI has been at our fingertips as everyday citizens, that we get to utilize this as a benefit in our business. And I remember we were having a conversation maybe a few weeks ago, and someone was kind of questioning the authenticity of like an email. Again, I email a lot because I've got, things I've got to follow up on with clients and share, summaries of, scope meetings and things like that with them. And it just allows me to put that information together quickly and get that over. And I do understand this person was kind of bringing up the authenticity factor of AI, but I want to remind people, it's not that AI is taking over what you do. It's just doing it for you faster. You can do the same job. It's just going to take you a little longer, because if you're like me, you want to formulate an email and make sure you read it multiple times to make sure you get it right. Miss Katrina over here, talking about writing scripts and kind of, that creative writing, it just allows you to get a little more creative. Miss Katrina can produce all these things on her own. But again, we're back to the utilization of your time. And for David and I, time is our only competition. We're not in competition with anything else or anybody else but our time. And so it just is something that when we kind of break over that and how to rewire our mindset to say, how can AI assist me? It is like having an assistant. It would be no different if you had a creative writing assistant, if you were a COO or CEO of a company and you had an administrative assistant and you tell them to do it. It's no different than having that, but you're not paying that salary, right? And so that's the beauty of being able to utilize these tools. And again, for all those that are new, we have a whole guide that is free. That is of 30 different AI applications that majority of them we have used, some of them we have not. So we can't tell you about every one of them, but it's just giving you a good reference point to get started. Now there's, thousands, I'm sure, of AI models out there that and more every day that are being created, which is a great thing because eventually we can get to the point where we move pretty quickly in everyday transactions that we do that can be a little more automated. And so, it's just about utilizing what works for us. The things that don't work, leave them alone, set them to the side. But what does work for us, jump in, all in, and utilize that. So that's what I would add, Mr. Jones. Back to you, Lo.
Yeah. And so, one of the things I also want to remind you guys of as well is that, Tara and I have a podcast called Getting Naked. It's nothing about nobody getting naked at whatsoever. It's a real, raw, authentic conversation. And so generally, we used to have our podcast on Spotify, but what we ran into, right, which Miss Katrina might run into, Chef Andy might run into, so many of you might run into, is that you tell people you got a podcast and they won't go download the app. Okay. And then you hit them up or you don't hear from them and they haven't listened to your podcast because a confused mind will say no. And that's one of the great things with our Biz in a Box is that you literally can listen to our podcast from Spotify right in our Biz in a Box. So people don't have to go and download anything. They literally click that button that's in our Biz in a Box and boom, they can listen to it. And they can do some more searching on our Biz in a Box. And so this is one of the things that we share with people, especially that utilize maybe a YouTube, utilize a Linktree, utilize, a 10K or an old traditional website for your social media. You're only giving them access to one thing. And some people might just put their Facebook, link into their link in their bio, and you're taking them from one, social media platform to another. And it's not really showcasing what you do, how you do it, and if they're ready to buy or if they need more information, anything of that sort. And this is where your systems and this is where, showcasing that and even doing the videos that we talked about, which those of you that are on our LinkedIn, I put that link in the actual, and if you go to the view details, it's in the comments below that we all know about, right? That you can be able to go and get that, okay? That free app to Opus, right? And this you said, I listen to Spotify without the app. I see the calendar. Perfect. And so, this is where we encourage you guys to really implement some of these tools and then even showcase a little bit more. And look, we understand that sometimes people say, oh, those guys are the metaverse people. Those guys are the metaverse people. No, metaverse is a part of what we do. But first, we want to make sure that your foundation is solid and you're not building and going and pivoting to the 3D, right? And not having the proper 2D in order, because as I shared earlier, they go hand in hand. Just like algebra, just like everything, right? In a relationship, in a business, you got to have a solid foundation to be able to effectively communicate and for your customers and clients to know everything else. So with that being said, does anybody else, welcome to the room, Esther, welcome to the room, Hosen, welcome to the room, Chuck, welcome, give me a follow as well. If I haven't, there you go, boom, you got it. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Remember, what are you grateful for today? I want you to ask yourself, what are you grateful for today? And remind yourself of how blessed you are, that you are 1 millimeter away from being an elephant, from being an ant, from being, a slug, from being a fly, from being, something else. But you were privileged and honored and blessed to be the baddest thinking mofo machine on planet Earth. And you're not a tree, and you get the opportunity to change. And so often we plant ourselves so deep and we root ourselves so deep, not understanding that, we got to get up and bust a move and move over, to get the different results that we want. Because I share with you all, old keys don't open new doors. And so this is where we encourage you guys to really open the 4 most expensive things, which is a closed mouth, right? A closed mind, a closed heart, and then more importantly, a closed hand, to be able to invest and be able to hold your hand out, not for a hand out, right, but a hand up, and to help everybody climb up the mountain. Because look, there's multiple days, those of you that are entrepreneurs, that we want to hang it up. We want to, go crawl up underneath a rock and just say, forget it, I'm done. And yet, you do that, then, you're crawling back down the mountain and you're doing exactly what you would have done for yourself for somebody else, and let alone being able to enjoy it at your luxury, at your benefit, and the way that you see fit, and not have to roll with somebody else's punches or let them tell you what to do, or create toxic environments and all the rest that comes with that good old job. There's nothing wrong with the job, please believe that. But right now we all have the opportunity to create and do what we want to, because we're moving to a global expansion. It's going to come to the time to, in our metaverse world, you can speak Chinese, you can speak Hindu, you can speak whatever you want to. And we're going to be able to conversate utilizing this AI, because it's going to translate, and we don't need a translator anymore. Tara and I, being digital nomads living in Mexico, I get to pull out my phone and talk to it in English, and it spits it back out in Spanish. So those of you that are afraid to, travel because you don't know the language, I encourage you that get out of that tree mentality and understand you got this powerful thing in your phone. You can download Google Translate. There's even other ones that you can use, and you can travel wherever you want to in the world. You can have conversations and you can do whatever, just as long as you're willing to press the button, right? And so with that being said, Ms. Petrino, we want to thank you for your comment. You coming in here and joining. You guys could be anywhere else that you want to be, could have been, but you decided to spend a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour with us. But we definitely want you guys to come and join us for our amazing Wisdom Wednesday room. Tomorrow's conversation is going to be business etiquette 101, building better relationships. And this goes for customers and this goes for business owners, because, etiquette is key, and I'll talk about this, but I'll hint on this just a little bit, especially for us as gentlemen, we have to be more respectful for how we talk to women, when it comes to business and having business conversations. Last week, and I'll share the whole story tomorrow, but last week, Tara, reached out to this gentleman and asked him, hey, would you like to, upgrade your business, this, that, and the other? And his response was, well, hey, sweetheart, you're nice and this, that, and the other. And if you had paid attention to this, that, and the other, then this, that, and the other, and just calling her sweetheart, like just being very, what would be the word that I would use for that? Misogynistic.
Well, it comes off condescending and speaking down to somebody like they, as if they're not equal. At least that's how I took it.
Yes. Everybody has a different perception of sweetheart, but it's just that general comment. And I share this because at the end of it, he turned it around and was very rude, was very, naive and confrontational at that. And, it's amazing how it's kind of like you going out and a guy trying to get your number, and he was nice at first, and then you say no, and then he turns around and calls you, out your name, or says something that was completely different from the vibration and energy that he was trying to get beforehand. And so, that's one aspect of many, right, when it comes to business, etiquette. But we're going to have multiple conversations on that, and how we can be preventative, how we can implement systems into our business to not have us, get to that standpoint, and for us to showcase ourselves as well. But that's one of many. And then definitely come join us for Thursday's Hello Pivot. We have an amazing conversation with Buttons Up. They are a fashion and design company where the title is going to be Fashion and Apparel Meets Innovation with Buttons Up, the future of shopping. To where I'll give you all the kicker. If you are an entrepreneur, if you do have a business, let me ask you a question. Why do you not have an apparel line for your business with your logo, your books, your images, anything of that sort, where people can, purchase that and sponsor you in a different way? Especially if you might have a podcast. Hey, you want to be on my podcast? Please go to my, apparel store and, purchase a store and purchase a shirt, anything. And yeah, I'll allow you on my podcast. That's one idea. There's multiple hundreds of ideas, but the generalization of it, let me get my words right, is for you to add on monetization to your business. And so these are some of the things that, that Buttons Up has done, to where we've taken their entire, apparel line and added so many additional monetizations and ideas to their business. And that's what they're going to be talking about, on Thursday. And then definitely don't miss our Getting Naked podcast on Friday at 8 p.m., right? Because our Tuesday room is at 4:30 Eastern. Our Wednesday room is at 4:30 Eastern. Our Thursday room, right, this week will be on at 8 p.m. I'm sorry, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So let me say that again. Our Hello Pivot is 6:30 p.m. And then Friday, our Getting Naked podcast is at 8 p.m. And the title of that room will be Stop Being a Prisoner and a Fool of Your Own Mind. And that's going to be a great conversation that we're going to talk about from all aspects of mindset and our internal self-sabotage and all of these things that we all experience. I experience. I'll be talking about, more so, what I've been going through and how it might be able to help you out. And so these are real, raw, deep conversations that we encourage you guys to come and join. And you might be able to reflect, not regret, right, on these conversations and really, move forward, because that's what this is all about. And so with that being said, Tara, you have anything else you want to share or add on?
Nope, just appreciate everybody showing up today. We appreciate everybody jumping in, whether you came up on stage or you jumped in on the comments or into the chat channels. We greatly appreciate the participation. These rooms are for the community. Yes, we provide, we're the ones hosting it, but we really do enjoy people coming up and sharing what they've learned or what they're using, because again, we grow as a village. And it's, there's enough abundance in this world for all of us to succeed. And so it doesn't do us any justice for any of us having stingy energy, as Mr. Jones shares with us, multiple times before. It's better to be better than bitter, as he says. So with that said, just thank you everybody for jumping in here. Excited about tomorrow's conversation on our Wisdom Wednesdays, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So back to you, love.
Yeah, Miss Patrina said, I tried print on demand for my children's book images on those things. So many tech issues. I tried a few times, though, the years I got frustrated. Well, ma'am, you are in the right place. Book that appointment if you haven't already. And we can definitely, share with you some other ideas on print demand and even within our Biz in a Box that definitely can help you out on that aspect. And so greatly appreciate you joining and being a part. And digital, on Digital Nomad here in Mexico. We're in Guanajuato, Mexico. It's like somebody dropped Little Italy, in Mexico. especially, you know, just on a side note, as we talk about, you know, the border and we talk about, you know, different, you know, cultures and immigrants and migrants, you know, Mexico is nowhere near what people make it out to be. There's beautiful people here. There's beautiful culture here. I would surely put, you know, their culture and their traditions over Americans, you know, on just the way of thought and how they care about one another. And it's, you know, the border towns are bad, but I would highly debate that, you know, some of these other towns that we visited and been to, you know, are absolutely amazing, have the technology, have the same things, the necessities, some of the necessities you don't even much need, but they still have. And it's absolutely amazing. So I'd encourage you all to really, you know, just like with anything, before we talk, before we down, you know, take a flight, you know, take a flight and go visit, and you can see the difference between what people actually talk about, between actually what's going on, because in all reality, we've both been bamboozled of, you know, what the other side is all about. And I share with people that, you know, we talk about the American dream, but me and Tara have come to the conclusion that, you know, the American dream is living outside of America, for you to realize how blessed and how, you know, easy it is for us in the States, because I can take you on a ride in Colombia that will make any hood in your nearest city look like the Four Seasons, and will have you in tears within minutes. And seeing children, seeing adults, seeing just the lifestyle and seeing the way people live. And you'd be like, what? And not to mention, you know, on other countries, you know, there's bombs, there's wars, there's all this other things that are going on top of poverty, on top of all the rest of these things. But yet, as Americans, we forget that we have these luxuries that most people don't have and wish they could have, but yet we complain about them so often and so much, and forget how blessed we are. And so that's why I share with you all to be grateful for what you have. Don't nitpick. Don't be so concerned about little bitty things. Definitely let go of the past, because the past holds on to anger, holds on to resentment, and anger and resentment is literally, you know, you drinking the poison that you're wishing on somebody else, and more so holding on to a live damn dynamite that is going to blow. And it's going to blow your hand up, not the other person's hand. So let go and be in the present as if it's today and your only day. And something that was shared, and I'll end on this on the share, is that if I was to give you, you know, $1 million right now, you would probably take it. If I was to give you $10 million, you would probably take it. But what if I was to tell you your ass wouldn't wake up tomorrow for that $10 million? Would you still take that $10 million? No, you wouldn't. Everything that you have is right in front of you. So be blessed and be grateful for the things that you do have. Okay? And so with that being said, you guys know the drill. As always, come and visit us tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time for our Wisdom Wednesday. Thursday, Hello Pivot at 6:30. We have Buttons Up. Friday is our Getting Naked podcast. And every single week, we bring value. We want more for you than from you. And we want you all to understand the time is now, and you got to make the pivot, and the future is already here. And so with that being said, love,
Kindness,
integrity,
but most importantly,
commitment,
and consistency.
and until next time, toodles.
Toodles.
See you
Thanks
guys
for being
later.
here, guys.